Greens, everyone. Hey, how you doing? It's Matt Sella here. Today, we're gonna talk about the Lion King official trailer that just came out a day after the last reaction video I did, and my god, I thought I was covered this week. Apparently not. Disney's like, oh hey, you like the Addams Family? Here's a little Lion King action for you. So, yep, that's what we're doing today. I'm gonna be talking about my personal thoughts on the first official trailer of The Lion King and what I am anticipating from the movie. Isn't that exciting, folks? So to start things off, I am pretty excited for this movie to a certain degree. A lot of people hold the original Lion King in such high regards, as do I. I really liked the movie as a kid, but I think there were some aspects of it that really made me enjoy it, and that's particularly the music. So what was kind of cool about this trailer is that I don't think it was a direct rip from the original movie, but kind of like a reorchestrated version of the main theme. And it just swelled so well that I rewatched this trailer quite a few times just to get that feeling, and it's really good. I love the music. I really hope we get a lot of that in the movie itself. I'm pretty sure we will, because I mean, Disney does not like really skimp out on their trailers, and there is some consistency in terms of the musical connection there, whether it's like songs or scores. I trust them, and I really hope that when I see this movie in theaters on the big screen with great surround sound, when the music swells, I want tears to come out of my eyes, because god damn it, when it swelled in this trailer, after watching this a few times, I'm gonna admit, I cried a little bit. It just was that nostalgic for me. In terms of everything else, as an animator, I gotta say, and this does quite piss me off when some people say this, but I'm sorry to say this is not a live-action remake. A lot of people say that, including you, Jeremy Johns. Yeah, I'm talking to you, brother. I'm partially kidding. Well, not really. But the point is, a lot of YouTubers that I watch who I greatly respect, love hearing their opinions, sometimes get caught in this debate on whether or not this Jon Favreau movie is a remake, live action. And some of them say, yeah, Disney did other Disney live action remakes. Whatever, it's a live action remake. Sue me. And I'm like, as an animator, I find it, not trying to cause controversy here, a tad disrespectful. That the fact that there's no real live action element in this movie. I believe Disney kind of confirmed that. Jon Favreau confirmed that. Like the Jungle Book, the environments and the creatures are completely CGI'd. And the fact that the difference between this and The Lion King is that there's no live action human, like no human that was filmed and then composited into this world. To me, Lion King is not a remake, well, live action remake, it is a remaster. It's done at a computer screen with CG programs, probably like Maya, Photoshop, CAD, whatever it is. Most of this to almost all of this has been done on a computer. There's no sets. There's no green screen stages. As far as I can tell, it's a remaster, so that's just my take on it. As an animator, I believe that's what it is. It is a remaster. Are we all upset now? Cool, let's move on, shall we? With all that being said, it is Jon Favreau, and while I have not seen many of the live-action remakes, I've seen Jungle Book, Beauty and the Beast, Pete's Dragon, which I really despise that movie. I thought it was way too hammy and lovey-dovey. It just felt very pandering to me. I saw Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland, and I thought that movie was very forgettable. Did not see Maleficent nor Cinderella. I saw film breakdowns of some of those films. I guess long story short, I'm in the camp where I feel like it's a bit on the nose that these are clearly just, dare I hate saying this word, cash grab, because everyone trended onto this whole live action remake stuff, and Disney's like, people are buying tickets to see this, let's keep making more of that. Which is fine. That, I mean, Hollywood's a business. They're gonna make content that they see the dollars are going towards. They follow the trends. That's just how it is. Arguments being said that some of these directors are just kind of handed projects that like, you're a competent director, you made a couple things, make this for us, will you? And they do it, and sometimes it comes out pretty good, or sometimes it comes out mediocre. That discussion has been going around a lot when it comes to movies, especially when Dumbo came out, and I didn't see it. I was going to see it to review it, but so many reviewers that I watch and respect were like, and said things that my fear about that movie seems like it was true. So, okay, well, save myself $10. But I'm willing to put an asterisk to some of these live action remakes as to Jon Favreau, who directed the first 2 Iron Mans. I think he did like one other movie, and he did Chef, which I thought was a fantastic movie. Did Jungle Book. I was a little skeptical at first because I was still in that phase where I'm like, yeah, live action, Disney remakes, whatever. I saw it, and he not only retold the original Disney Jungle Book story, he reworked it to kind of become its own thing, and he expanded upon the lore of said property. And I enjoyed the movie, and I was like, yep, nope, I'm sold, Jon Favreau. I trust you. You can do this. And I even had a conversation with my friend Mark about The Mandalorian, which I still have no interest in. Hey, man, I'll check it out because it's Jon Favreau. I trust him. And so vicariously with The Lion King remaster, yeah, I'm going to go there. Jon Favreau is taking the helm. He wants to do this because he's using the technology he did for the Jungle Book to make the hyper-realistic animals. And I trust him. I really do. I trust him. I hope this doesn't come out as like another Beauty and the Beast, where it's kind of like a scene-by-scene remake, doesn't really add anything new to it, and kind of panders a bit. I highly doubt it. Yes, I saw Beauty and the Beast, didn't quite care for it. It's not offensive, but felt like a waste of time. Just watch the original animated version. It has better expressions and emotions. But I babbled long enough. Let's get straight into this trailer. So, first things first, I think the CGI is pretty good. It looks great in some shots, not so great in a few others. It's tricky. I mean, especially for me as an animator who watches a lot of 2D animation, 3D animation, visual CGI stuff. The uncanny valley kind of comes to me a lot, especially when it comes to creatures with muddy looking fur. And when I say muddy, I don't mean like actually covered in mud, but the follicles of the hair, fur, what have you, pigmentation, all that, it kind of creates kind of like a blurry blend between the different colors you would expect from a realistic texture. And sometimes it has this floaty effect, becomes stagnant, or just seems a bit elaborate in some parts. It's kind of hard to describe. For those who are like more in the creative mindset, you might kind of get where I'm coming from. And so that's Uncanny Valley applied in my mindset. For the most part, yeah, the lions looked fine. They were kind of hard to distinguish between each other. Not trying to be speciesist here, but Scar is kind of a normal lion palette, but he's more sickly, a little bit more beat up. That's fine, but all the lioness kind of look the same. When Simba grows up, I kind of got him mixed up with Scar a little bit, but I think that's because the camera pulled out a bit. He does have a unique feature. I think he has like 2 tear points above his eye or his brow. So I think that's like the one feature that's going to help him stand out between the other male lions, or at least Scar, or whatever. Nala and the others, time will tell on that. I mean, animals look the same to us humans, so it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to cover that. Parts of the CGI didn't work for me is that it was kind of the animation on some scenes, the lighting, where the animals looked a bit floaty. Too CGI'd, computer generated. Especially the part where like we get the slight panning shot where all the animals of Africa are doing their bow or whatever. And just the way that scene was set up, it's like, yeah, it looks a little too blinny to me. I don't know. It's really hard to describe. But this is just the first trailer, or official trailer. And this movie doesn't come out till like July or something. So the visual effects team has plenty of time to tweak and polish those visuals. So I'm not too worried about that. I do kind of have another negative on my end, and that is Scar himself. Now, when the voice cast was originally announced for this movie, I was kind of happy for it, but also at the same time confused and not thrilled. Whereas we had a completely new cast, which is fine. That's how I would prefer you do remakes and remasters, is start fresh, start new, have a new take on it, new faces, new voices, and that's all fine. But then they said, I think one of the first announcements they had was James Earl Jones is returning as Mufasa, which is cool. He's part of my childhood. He voiced a lot of cool characters at the time. However, after I watched like Rogue One, I thought his voice kind of sounded a bit aged. I mean, he's up there in years. Mad respects for him, but he kind of sounds tired, and I don't know. I just feel like we gotta hold back on him. I think he's earned that achievement he's done, and he's a great voice actor all around. But they brought him back, so I'm like, yeah, okay. And hearing him in this trailer, yeah, he does sound a bit old and tired, but I trust him. Which comes down to like my actual first negative upon some of the voice casting. they brought on like Donald Glover, Chiwetel Ejiofor, and Beyonce, which I kind of side with the Gary Oldman when he did that video about sports players doing acting. I'm kind of in the same boat when it comes to musicians. I remember listening to her play a character in Blue Sky's Epic, and I did not buy her performance once. I honestly, and this is just my opinion, folks, but I honestly don't like it when musicians take on actor roles. It's just, they don't come across as believable to me. There are exceptions to it. Don't get me wrong, but Beyonce, I'm skeptical. I'm sorry. Everyone loves her music, that's fine. But I'm skeptical. I'm sorry. However, that's not really the negative here because Nala didn't say anything. My negativity came from Chiwetel Ejiofor, which I've seen him in a couple films and I love him. I think he's a great actor. But kind of like in the Aladdin trailer, I wasn't convinced too much by his menacing nature. He just kind of sounded like a dude who was a bit peeved. And that kind of sucks too, because the reason why I bring up James Earl Jones before all this is they say, oh, it's a completely new cast except for him. And it's like, okay, fine. If you're going to do that, maybe bring back Jeremy Irons to play Scar, because I believe Scar and Mufasa, they're supposed to be around the same age as each other, but Mufasa clearly sounds really old and Ejiofor does not. He doesn't sound old to me at all, so it's like, it's kind of jarring to hear the voices between the two. But then again, at the same time, I also do put self-blame on that with nostalgia, because Jeremy Irons has such a unique voice. I love him. I like his menacing, underlying British tone to it. And I know it's kind of hard because we want to humanize our villains. We want to give them a sense of purpose and righteousness to the things that they do, even though in our perspective, what they're doing is evil, and to them, they think they're doing good. I get that, but if there's nothing like audibly unique sounding to them, it kind of gets hard for me to get engaged in what they are doing or their character. It's tough. It's tough. I'm not quite convinced by Ejiofor's performance in this trailer, but hopefully the movie itself will prove me wrong and he'll be eccentric or conniving in some way in the movie, and they just kind of chose the vanilla voices for him in the trailer. So we shall see. At the end of the trailer, we got a taste of Timon and Pumbaa singing The Lion Sleeps in the Jungle Tonight, which was a cute little thing. It felt like a stinger to add to the trailer, saying like, oh, don't worry, kids. Timon and Pumbaa, those guys, you love them in the original animation, they'll be in this movie too. Don't worry about it. They're there, which was cool. It was a nice little thing. It didn't really sway me one way or the other. I love the fact... Okay, I am willing to call this movie a live-action remake, because they didn't have to CGI John Oliver at all. They just put him right in the movie. You see Zazu in the trailer, looks exactly like John Oliver. They did not CGI him. Perfect casting. Perfect casting. Nah, I'm partially joking. But no, actually, John Oliver was like one of the things that lit up my eyes when I heard the casting. Aside from like Seth Rogen and Donald Glover, when they said, oh, John Oliver will be playing Zazu, I was like, that's perfect. That's perfect. I love the guy. He's effing hilarious. Have him as Zazu, I'm all down for it. The guy who originally voiced Zazu in the original Lion King movie, Rowan Atkinson, I think if he's going to pass the torch to someone else, John Oliver is the perfect guy. Mad respects to both of them. I'm really looking forward to his performance in this movie. Apart from that, what else can I say? I think the trailer itself kind of tells the whole story, I think. Unfortunately, for those who do know the original animated movie, yeah, the whole trailer tells it from almost beginning to end. Not trying to say that's a spoiler or anything, but because of what I said about Jon Favreau and his take on Jungle Book, I am hoping that there are some shifts on the story beats from the original that he's going to kind of change up, make it go in a slightly different direction, but make sense. I am hoping for that. I'm not saying, oh, at the very end, Simba, beats Scar, but still decides not to be king and goes off to the paradise to hang out with Timon and Pumbaa, and the lioness are up to create their own council and govern all of the Pride Lands. I'm not saying that's going to happen. If it does happen, wow, I just pulled that out of my butt again, so good on me. I trust Favreau. That's ultimately what I'm getting to. I trust his directing skills. I trust his direction in telling his story, and I think it's going to be fun. Is this my most anticipated movie of 2019? No. But I am open-minded to this particular remaster of The Lion King, And we'll see how it goes. And my hope is, my biggest hope, tying into one of the very first things I said at the beginning of this reaction video, is I hope Hans Zimmer comes back to do the score of this movie. And if not, I remember listening to the trailer, it's kind of a very niche thing. I want to see if you folks can note it. When Zazu pops in, the score kind of goes into a different instrumental bridge. I know that's not the right term, but humor me. That kind of reminds me of Disney's Illuminations Tapestry of Dreams. It's a really old score and event at Disney World Epcot, maybe around other parks as well. There's a certain instrumental theme that happens in that one part of the trailer that reminds me of Tapestry of Dreams, and I love that. It creates kind of a world wonderness to it, of nature and its power, and I love it, and I'm hoping to get that vibe from this remaster. So that's my hopes on it. If I sound like I'm bashing it in some parts with the CGI and all that, that's my nitpick as an animator. I'm always going to be looking at the visual and saying like, okay, is this convincing enough? Yes? No? And I am not a fan. I am not a fan of Disney CGI lately. It looks very muddy. It looks quick and cheap, mass-produced almost. And I'm thinking to myself, Disney is a multi-billion-dollar company. I'm pretty sure you guys could afford to polish your CGI a bit better. But whatever. It's not like much is going to change that. Not on the consumer level. I just depressed myself. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on the trailer itself. I know this was a pretty long reaction. I guess I had a lot to say about this. In the comment section below, did you like the trailer? Did you not like the trailer? Please let me know, and let's start that conversation. And hey, if you enjoyed podcast minis, hark, like this one, please consider supporting me on Patreon via patreon.com/Matt Sella. Links are in the description below for quick access. Everything you need to know right down there. And as I like to say here, thank you all for tuning in.